Good morning. We are getting into the volume. Okay, so go ahead and press pause. Copy, it's not that much. So go ahead and copy that and then press play when you're ready. All right, so volume. Today we're doing volumes of rectangular prisms. Okay, so it's our Kleenex boxes, it's our cereal boxes. Okay, so and our cubes. So we'll be doing cubes as well because technically they are rectangular prisms. All right, so volume is how much water can I fill in here? How much sand can I put in here? Okay, so I want to know the capacity. How much space is occupied by a three-dimensional object? So how much can fit inside here? That is volume, okay? Now, I can't remember what y'all's formula chart is in 5th grade, and that you remember 6th grade, but this formula looks like this, okay? On your formula chart, it's just V equals capital B, little h. So you have to know what that means, okay? So, and all it's gonna say is prism. So this is the formula you're gonna use for rectangular prisms, and then tomorrow, triangular prisms, okay? And let me show you what the variables stand for, because these are variables, okay? V, you kind of guess what V is. V stands for volume, okay? So V is volume. Now, that's going to be equal to capital B. Now, here is the most important thing of this whole formula is what is this capital B? It does not mean base, okay? It actually means something more than just base, all right? Since it's a capital variable, I'm going to tell you right now, it means it's more important, okay? It is high-ranking variable. So the capital B actually represents another formula you have to put in here, okay? The capital B represents area of the base. So you have to plug in the formula for the area of whatever shape the base is in, okay? So by using this, I don't have to give you like 4 different formulas. I can just use capital B, little h, and that represents triangular prisms, rectangular prisms, square prisms, all that stuff, okay? So you're gonna plug in the formula for the area of the shape of whatever the shape of the base is, okay? And then h represents height. It represents height, height of prism. Okay, so I think back in elementary, you might have done length times width times height. Yeah, for a rectangular prism, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to show you how right now. Okay, where they got length times width times height. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you how length times width times height came about, and now we get to use base area of the base times the height. So the base of all rectangular prisms are rectangles, hence the word rectangular and then prism, okay? So your rectangular prisms have a rectangle or square as the base. So the area of a rectangular prism, okay, the area we're using today, since it's a rectangular one, is going to be base times height or length times width, okay? That is because of the shape of the base. It is a rectangle or square. All right. So you multiply that times the height of the prism. Okay. Times the height of the prism. Oops, forgot my R. All right. So find the area of the base. So base times height, or length times width. And then multiply it by the height of the prism. How tall is the prism? And if you notice, the height of the prism connects the bottom base to the top. Okay, connects your ceiling to your floor. All right. So again, it's going to be area of this thing. So base times height. Then how tall is it? The height of the prism. Okay. So you're multiplying 1, 2, 3 numbers. And that's going to tell me how much I can use to fill this up, how much water I need. Okay. So here's my attempt at drawing. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw. We're doing rectangular prisms, so I should be okay drawing rectangular prisms, but you never know. All right. So I use my lines I'm going to do 2 lines. I'm going to make a rectangle here. And then I'm going to go over 2, like 1.5 lines here. Oops. Just like that. And then I'm going to go, I think this one will go down here. There. Not too bad. And then I know I have one coming down here. Something like that. I didn't have to do the little dotted lines, but I did. Okay, so that's how I do. I know it looks wonky. Leave it alone. Pretend the top is a rectangle, okay? Just leave my drawing alone. I was in band, not in art. Yeah, it's totally messed up. Oh, well. All right, so the bottom here, there is my base. Okay, this represents the capital letter B. Okay, now since that is supposed to be a rectangle, okay, we're going to pretend it's a rectangle. Let's put our numbers here. Let's make this 4 inches right there. And we'll do 10 inches in the front. And I'm going to do 3 inches on the side there. Okay, so it's the dimensions are 4 by 10 by 3. All right. Now, as with all of our formulas, we're going to write it down first. So I'm going to do volume equals area of the base times the height. And I always say that in my head so I don't forget. So start saying that in your head so you start associating the capital B with area of the base, okay? So volume equals area of the base times the height. The shape of my base is a rectangle. It's supposed to be, okay? So I'm going to replace the capital letter B with the formula for a rectangle, which is base times height, okay? Then the other H is how tall is this rectangular prism. I'm going to highlight this, that way you know they belong together. It's the same thing, okay? Now, let's plug in our numbers. So, I'm looking at the bottom here. The base and height of my base is a 10 by 3. Okay, I'm just looking at the highlighted yellow. It is a 10 by 3. So 10 times 3. And then how tall is it? Remember, it connects the top and the bottom. Okay, it's your walls. It connects your ceiling and your roof, your ceiling and your floor. And it's 4. Okay, so the 4 over here, I'm going to put over here. Height of prism. Okay, that goes right here. All right, and again, this 10 by 3 is area of the base. All right, so really, as soon as you see a rectangular prism, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, because it's a 3-dimensional figure. You multiply it 3 numbers. 3-dimensional figure, rectangular prism, length, width, height, 3 numbers. Now we multiply. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10 times 3, just 30. And then lastly, we have 30 times 4, which is 120 inches cubed, okay? We are in cubic inches because we're multiplying 4 inches times 10 inches times 3 inches. So 4 times 10 times 3 gives me 120. Inches times inches times inches gives me inches cubed, okay? And just remember, it's a 3-dimensional figure, so I'm going to be to the 3rd power, or cubed, okay? And just remember, what do you call a 3-dimensional square? A cube, cubed, okay? All right. Let's try another one. I'm going to try to make this one better. Okay, I'm going to try another. I'm going to make this one skinnier. Let's see if that works. So I'm just going to do 1 line here, make my rectangle. Then I'm going to go over to the next one. That looks better. Okay. And then here to that one. Ooh, I got that one. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my dotted line here. Pat myself on the back on that one. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the base so you can see the shape. It's the one down here. And I got that one. Ooh, I highlighted it, makes it look better. Okay, so again, this is the base. And it's another rectangle, so base times height. Okay, let's make up some numbers. Let's do 25 centimeters in front. And let's make this one 20 centimeters long. And let's make it 2 centimeters tall. Okay, 2 centimeters tall. First thing we do, write the formula. So this is going to be V equals capital B, little h, or put it in your head, volume equals area of the base times the height. Area of the base times the height. Now I'm going to replace the capital letter B with the formula for the area of this shape. I see it is a rectangle, so I know the formula for a rectangle is base times height. Okay. I know it seems tedious, guys, to write all this down, but it's so you understand what's happening, what you're actually doing, okay? I need to find the area of the bottom first, and then from there, take it up, and that tells me how much to fill it, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my numbers. So the base, I'm just looking at the highlighted yellow here. I have a 25 by 20. It's a 25 by 20. And then the height of the actual prism is 2 centimeters, okay? That is the height of the prism. That's how tall it is. It goes from the floor to the ceiling, okay? Now let's go ahead and multiply. I'm gonna go ahead and do my 25 times 20. That is 500 times 2. And 500 times 2 is 1,000 centimeters cubed. Centimeters cubed. Okay. Got it? So 1,000 cubic centimeters will fit in there. Now, what happens if they want me to fill it halfway up? That's just like our semicircles. If they only want me to fill this halfway up, well, then I'll divide this by 2 and get 500. What if they want me to only fill this a third of the way up? I would divide it by 3 and get 40. Okay, I would only need 40 cubic inches of soil or water or whatever to fit in there. Okay, so read the question. How far do they want you to fill it up? Okay, now I'll do an example like that with you. So let's do another one. Number 3. Let's see. Do I want to draw or do I want to write? Let's go ahead and write. Okay. The dimensions of a rectangular prism are 12 feet by 10 feet by 8 feet tall. Okay. What is the volume of the prism if it is halfway full? I could have thought of something better, but that's what I have. The dimensions of a rectangular prism are 12 feet by 10 feet by 8 feet tall. What is the volume of the prism if it is halfway full? Okay, so what's important? The shape is important. That way I know exactly that the base is a rectangle. The dimensions are important. We have a 12 by 10, 8 feet tall. I'm looking for the volume, and it's halfway full. Okay, so if you need to press pause to finish copying, go ahead and then press play. If not, we can keep on going. So I can try to draw this if I need to draw it. Okay, it's a 12 feet by 10 feet by 8 feet. So I'm just going to pretend that I know how to draw. There's 2, 2. See, those lines really do help. Okay, and it says it's a 12 foot by 10 foot and 8 feet tall. Okay, but then it tells me, now I'm going to go ahead and highlight the base. Well, let me draw my little. Here's my base here. Okay, you can always press pause when you want to and catch up. All right, I'm getting better. Now, what is also important is that it's going only halfway. So I'm only going halfway up here. Okay, so I can either cut my height in half now or divide my answer by 2 later. It's up to you, but you're going to get the same answer and I'll prove it to you. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to do this at the end. Okay, so again, we're going to do the volume because that's what it says, volume, and it is a rectangular prism. So then I'm going to go ahead. Sorry about that. Then I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. The base is a rectangle, so it's going to be base times height. And then how tall is it? How high is the actual prism? And now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my numbers. The base is a 12 by 10, and it is 8 feet tall. Okay, so area of the base is base times height. That's 12 by 10. And then how tall is it? It's 8. Math, arithmetic, 12 times 10 is 120 times 8. Final answer so far. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. 960 cubic feet. Now that's for the whole thing, okay? But it says here, halfway full. So we're going to take half of 960, okay? And this is to get the volume halfway. And so 960 divided by 2, 2 goes into 9 4 times, 16 goes in 8, 480 feet cubed. Okay? Or I could have done this in half, okay? I could have taken half of 8. What's half of 8? It's 4, okay? And I could have done this. Area of the base times the height. Base times height times height. Just watch. 12 by 10, that doesn't change. But now the height, I'm going to cut it in half, okay? I'm going to cut that half of 8, which is 4. So right here, I'm going to make a little note. I'm going to do half of 8. That's how I got the 4. And 12 times 10 is 120 still. And 120 times 4 is still 480. So you see? Same. So either way you want to do it, it is up to you. You can divide the 2. There we go. You can divide by 2 at the end, or go ahead and cut the height in half, or by thirds, or whatever it's asking you. That's up to you, okay? But if you notice right here, you get the same answer, okay? You get the exact same answer. So I'm going to do this method number 2, method number 1. That way you'll have 2 ways of thinking about it, okay? All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and try it out. So I'm going to draw this with you. That's why I haven't put it on here yet. So you know how to draw it. Okay, try it out. So let's do a square. So make a square here. We're going to go up 1 line, down one line, over. There's your cube, okay? And just to prove it's a cube to us, let's put these little dashes. It means everything's equal, and let's make this 3 meters, okay? And then let's do another rectangular prism. So do 2 lines, make a rectangle. Go at a diagonal 2 lines up. See? Another diagonal 2 lines up. Connect the dots there. And we're going to go down 2 lines. Boom. Okay? And you can do the dotted lines if you want to. Okay? Same thing with the cube if you need to. And let's do this 13 centimeters, 16 centimeters, and 4 centimeters. Okay? Let's go ahead and press pause and go ahead and solve those. Okay? And come back when you're ready to see the answers. All right, let's see how you did. So this is a cube, which a cube can also be called a rectangular prism. So the formula is the same. Area of the base times the height. And here, the area of the base is still a square. Okay, if you needed to have those markings, you would just go down to the line there. Okay, you would see it, that's the base. So it's going to be base times height times height. Now I'm going to plug it in. Now, perfect thing about a cube, everything's the same. So this should have been 3 times 3 times 3, or you could have done 3 to the 3rd power. It means the same thing. Let's do our math. 3 times 3 is 9. So don't put 6 there. A lot of people like to put 6. And then 9 times 3 is 27 meters cubed, or cubic meters. Okay? So did y'all get that one right? All right. Let's go to this one. Again, volume equals area of the base times the height. The base is a rectangle, so it's going to be base times height times height. I have a 13 by 16 at the bottom, 13 by 16 at the bottom, and it is 4 centimeters tall. Okay, let's do our math. 13 times 16, make sure I get it right, is 208. And multiplying that times 4. And that is 832 centimeters cubed. Oop, there you go. Did y'all get 832? If you notice, you're just multiplying 13 times 16 times 4. That's all you're doing, okay? But start writing the formula. That way your brain knows exactly how this works, because the formulas are going to be more difficult next year, and you have to understand especially what this means, okay? And I've seen it on the star asking you which of the following formulas represents the capital B. Okay, and in a rectangular prism, base times height represents the capital B. Triangular prism, the area of a triangle represents capital B. So you have to actually know what it means, okay? If you have any questions, come to Google Meet and I'll help you out as much as I can, all right? Y'all have a great day, guys.